Episode
All right,
45. Oops.
episode 45 is this today. It's our second episode of the new year, right?
Second episode of the new
Second
year.
episode of the new year. And what a second episode it is. So many things went on this week. I think we'll touch a little bit on kind of like the weirdest, favorite things that came out of it. We mentioned that last week. But I think what we'll spend most of our time on is, of course, what's on everybody's mind. TikTok goes dark in the US. So that is throwing up all sorts of realizations by pretty much everybody. And then, of course, out of the blue, was it a scam, not a scam? Our next president launches his own meme coin. Yes, meme coin by the president of the United States. So we'll talk a little bit about that because that has basically driven the crypto world crazy in many different senses. And so, yeah, that's jam-packed episode. A lot of fun things to talk about, I think.
I was curious how they were going to do the TikTok ban, and I started seeing it when someone posted on Reels that TikTok's no longer here, and it was like a sad reel. So then I opened TikTok, and then I got that pop up.
Yeah, I was doom scrolling on it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's still working." And then literally the next minute, like I'm on X, and people say, "Oh, it's finally happened." I was like, "What? I was just using it." And then, yep, they posted a message that,
Yeah, and the message was interesting because called it directly mentions Trump,
yeah,
saying, we think Trump will help us, or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Apparently, there was two messages. The first one said, it was very plain. It said, we're working to bring it back. And then apparently, I guess they updated it like fairly quickly to call out Trump and say we're working directly with Trump. So now the expectation is on Monday, I guess, when he does his 100 different executive orders. TikTok may be one of them. Don't know. I'm actually not
Yeah.
sure how much he can do because it is a law now, and you really can't. An executive order cannot get rid of a law or stop a law, is how it works.
Well, for our users who don't know what this whole TikTok thing is and don't even use TikTok, but are interested in this interesting news, do you want to give some history slash context?
Yeah, so just real quick. So TikTok, if you weren't aware, is owned by this company called ByteDance, which is basically a Chinese-based company. And so this has been going on for over a year or so, even during Trump's presidency, where talk of wanting to ban TikTok because China/CCP has the capability to basically compel ByteDance to hand over all US user data if they wanted to, and basically use that for nefarious means, etc. If anybody's interested in that, go Google it. I'm sure you'll find very many interesting like theories on that. But so that was the biggest driver. It ended up being a law passed that would ban TikTok in the US. And then there was a pending Supreme Court judgment review. I don't really remember what it's called. To basically, TikTok's argument was around free speech. That by banning it, it is denying American users free speech, which I thought was kind of a ridiculous argument, but apparently the Supreme Court thought so too. And so officially upheld the ban. And so January 19th was
Now it's
the date.
banned.
Now it's banned. And not just TikTok too. I saw basically all of ByteDance's apps in the US. So Lemon 8, which is interesting because that was one of the alternatives that people had
Mm.
started to migrate to. And then CapCut, of course, which is basically TikTok's editing app for all intents. But yeah, so that's kind of in a nutshell like what happened here in the US.
Yeah, I saw a bunch. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of companies if this is kind of upheld after tomorrow's inauguration. A bunch of companies are gonna benefit, right? And like Meta, Snap, Adobe. And so I saw a lot of people migrating to Blue Sky. Saw a number
That was
of
one of them.
posts saying, "Hey, now I'm on Blue Sky.
Yep.
Come follow me there." And so imagine the metrics of these smaller
Yeah.
companies. They're just like one day. Whew.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't know. Like, as I was thinking about what Trump is saying and how he says he will sign an executive order to give TikTok a 90-day grace period, it's like, really? You're gonna get inaugurated, and your first thing you're gonna do is
Yeah,
unban a social
yeah,
app?
yeah,
But whatever. Like,
yeah,
I think on one side, if he does do that, he'll make lots of entrepreneurs and people who have made, their celebrity status or, they're living from TikTok happy. On the other hand, you might have people thinking, well, what's, Trump got going on with China,
yeah,
right? And the interesting thing that was also revealed last week is ByteDance said the only person that they were interested in selling TikTok to was Elon Musk.
yeah. That'd be terrible.
Which we know Elon is first buddy, as Trump likes to call it, to the Trump family. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's all, there's all different sides and theories as to what's going on, but we'll just have to wait and see until tomorrow and he actually does it.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, people have started to come out to say, they're ready to acquire. I think Kevin O'Leary, I think his whatever consumer name, and Mr. Wonderful, apparently it's his brand, has come out with like a 20 billion all cash bid for TikTok. He's ready and waiting. So Mr. Beast apparently is like billionaires reaching out to me. We'll try to make it happen. And then of course what you said, Elon, which was directly from a source in China, was proposing they would only sell to Elon. So yeah, it's a little bit craziness. Out of the three, I would choose Mr. Beast because I think at least it would keep it to what TikTok is supposed to be, and not become kind of like a far right platform. Or, if you went with O'Leary, it'd be pure business and trying to make as much money as he could off of it, right? Um, and so, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how I feel after it's actually been banned. Like, I agree, I use it even though I know China is probably using all this data somehow. But yeah, it's weird, right? It's just this big platform, but it's owned, by basically a communist nation.
Yeah,
Um, that is very, I would say, on par or better as far as tech savviness and how they're able to use all that data,
totally.
right? If you said like, oh, okay, it was North Korea, it's like, okay, so what, right? It's a little bit different because, China is a first world power. And so it's just the ability for them to influence, even though people think it's just cat videos and etc. It's a little bit more than that, which you can kind of see it because one of the apps that everybody migrated to was called this app called Red Note. I don't know if you've seen that. But yeah, it was like one of this alternative platform, Red Note, that people somehow discovered. Again, Chinese. Red Note actually was a play off of Mao's, I guess, theories or thinkings on communism. It's kind of like a play on that. And so Red Note, I don't know if people actually knew that, but yeah. So anyways, so mass migration of TikTok refugees went over to Red Note.
From the US.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wonder if that's just because that was like a FOMO thing because it was making news, or is it because they actually know that it's,
Yeah, it was
based
like
on the
trending
US?
as I guess alternatives on TikTok before, and
Yeah.
then it became like one of the top downloaded apps in the App Store. It was in Chinese apparently, and so a lot of things weren't in English. Yeah, just a lot of stories of like I guess all the TikTok women and girls posting and all the Chinese people they were interacting with were like, wow, haven't
Yeah.
seen this before. So just a lot of interesting things. And then a note comes out, like so everybody's like, oh, Red Note, it's such a breath of fresh air. It's like this is why do we ban TikTok? The Chinese people here are so friendly, etc. And then it turns out like there's a separate publication of, I guess, the authority that regulates platforms,
Hmm.
told Red Note, you need to make sure you separate all these US users to not interact with your Chinese users. Which I'm like, this is why, right? This is why it's not a great thing.
Yeah.
Which, I know Gen Z really doesn't really understand. And to be honest, I think a lot of people don't really understand like the nuances. Um,
Well, keep in mind too, TikTok's only banned in the US.
that's right.
It is a global app. So Europe, Asia, other countries,
Yeah,
TikTok is still operating and probably still thriving.
yeah. So it's just US users are gonna miss out.
Yeah. I wonder, I'm assuming that their US market is the biggest market, but I wonder if
Well,
that's true or not.
I mean, it's 175 million Americans are theoretically subscribe to the app or use the app. So I guess if they had a billion users, 10,
Yeah.
15%.
Well, in terms of Blue Sky, I've already tried it out. Not a fan. So I won't be using Blue Sky unless
Yeah,
maybe unless something latches me into it.
yeah. I've,
But I am actually excited to use Snap more.
I'm not.
My play is gonna be use Snap more, put some
Uh,
money in a Snap.
I've tried. I just don't know what it is. The content quality or their algorithm is just not very good.
I think it's the algorithm for sure. But do you use the what is it? Snap is it Snap Stories?
Yeah, whatever their new feed they introduced a
Yeah,
while back.
do you use the actual like the like legacy stories feed?
I
There's like a
did,
TikTok style feed where it's
yeah,
just like video scrolling.
yeah.
And there's the legacy feed where it shows like different things.
No, it's the one where it's the scrolling one,
Okay.
or
Yeah, I
both,
haven't used it much.
or both of them. I guess I've just tried to use Snap, and I just can't. And of course, Instagram is not really. It's still very curated, polished, eh, right? Which is what it's known for, and that was the differentiator between that and TikTok. So for it to switch
Yeah.
to TikTok style is a bit challenging. And then of course YouTube Shorts, which is
YouTube Shorts. That's another one that actually is interesting because it is based off your watch history, right? So
yeah. But I'll just I feel like YouTube is just also terrible, algorithmic wise compared to TikTok. It's just not. It's just not good. And I think a lot of people say that is probably one of the reasons why it hasn't taken off, right? Is that just
yeah,
the recommendation algorithm for YouTube is just it just doesn't feel good. Maybe it is good, but it doesn't feel good.
yeah. Let's do this week. Let's try using all these other similar apps and come back with our how'd the week go
Yeah,
using everything other than TikTok?
I know. I am kind of sad because like there's a lot of interesting people I followed on TikTok, on the cooking talk and then toddler talk or just all these different like vertical talks that have just like come up,
Yeah.
right?
I think
Yeah,
all of them though, most of the people I've seen on TikTok who are successful are also on Reels.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's just a matter of finding them. I think that's the thing, right? Is like their algorithm is really good. We'll see. Okay, well, we'll just make it a
you
challenge.
were you were gonna say something when I mentioned Blue Sky.
Yeah, Cuban, for any founders, potential founders out there, he was offering to fund anybody who would use their new AT protocol, which is basically an open source protocol to build like the next, he was stirring it out there. It's like, hey, willing to fund anybody who can use Blue Sky's protocol to build another TikTok.
It's interesting.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Product manager.
I'm too busy with my things right now.
That's it. I don't know.
um,
It could be a thing.
all right, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day and the inauguration of Trump's
47th
second term.
president. Yep.
We're in for an interesting 4-year ride.
Yeah.
So lots of news to cover in the next 4 years. But you wanted to talk about the Trump coin that is
Yes.
coming out of
The
this.
Trump meme coin. So, yes, the next president will be inaugurated tomorrow. But on Friday, during this, I guess, this crypto packed gala black tie dinner that was being held in DC by Trump, where all the big wigs in crypto were. And then at was it 8:30 p.m. at night on a Friday, Trump tweets out he is launched. I don't even know. This is called the Trump meme coin. The oh man, there was like a tagline. I can't think of it off the mind because it's. Anyways, he tweets out this meme coin, like I'm launching a meme coin. Go buy it now. The social verse was deciding whether he was hacked or not. And then, but people kept buying it and buying it in mass. Literally, market cap exploded.
Yeah.
So when I say market cap, for those who don't know, the way meme coins launch is that you launch a meme coin, right? It has like a billion tokens or whatever, and then you judge its success by the market cap it reaches. So like a billion coins were launched, right? If they price at $1, then you have $1 billion market cap meme coin. So this thing is growing at like a billion market cap every hour, literally, which is just never happened before. And if you look right now, it's basically at $60 million. And so this is a big deal because nothing has ever gone from 0 to 60 billion in like a day. And half of its life, people were wondering, is this legit? Was Trump's social hacked? And then people are just pumping in to be scammed or you hear rug pull. But yeah, anyways, I jumped in at like $5. It's like, I'll just throw in 100, who cares?
Or what
Huh?
is your 5 books at?
Oh, well, five, let's see, 5 to 60. Yeah, so it's kind of a lot of X. And yeah, you'll see on,
But I saw in my Discord, I saw it hit 74.
yeah, over last night, I guess it hit like
Yeah.
75, 74. But yeah,
Did
so,
it open at $1?
huh?
Open at
No,
$1?
it
Did it open
opened
at
at
10?
like a cent or 6 or 18 cents or something. So this is where some of the scamming that was playing out, right? Okay, so it launches at night on Friday, when all the major crypto players are not paying attention. Um, and then you start seeing posts of people, I just turned 50,000, like 10,000 to 1 million. And apparently somebody just basically dumped $1 million at 18 cents into this
18.
coin.
That's crazy.
And I don't know if it's sold, I haven't seen lately, but as of yesterday, they still held on. So basically, that 1 million turned into 120 million. And there are a lot of stories of people who got in early somehow.
Shouldn't it be more than that?
Well, I mean,
13 cents and $74
as
or
of like
60.
somewhere around last night when it was like a 50 or 40 or something.
But even then, 13 cents to $40 is much more than 100.
I'm just going off of what Twitter posted.
All right. Well,
But anyways, the
this
point
is not
being is
financial
that
advice.
there's a lot of insider shenanigans going on because
Yeah.
again, if people are not in the meme coin space, you typically don't throw in $1 million unless you know something, because these could instantly go to zero, which the Hakua girl, I'm sure a lot of people maybe have heard about that, went to basically zero, and a lot of people lost their life savings. But anyways, so
Well, yeah. And if you're putting your life savings into meme coin, I think,
yeah,
yeah.
meme coin is literally, it's a joke coin. It's not meant to be taken seriously. But having said that, like fart coin is like a billion to market cap. It's going to keep going up. A lot
I
of
mean,
ridiculous
technically,
things going on.
Doge and Shiba Inu are meme
Yeah,
coin. They're
yeah,
still holding
yeah.
their ground.
But yeah, anyway, our president launched the meme coin. It is worth 60 billion, which makes it a top 10 crypto coin. So when I say top 10, this is like Bitcoin, I guess XRP, Solana. So it's literally compared to Bitcoin at this point because it is in the top 10 at a $60 billion market cap. And of course, also the other thing is 80% of the coins is locked up, which means 20% is out. So there's a billion coins in all. 200 million were released, and 800 million have been reserved for Trump and whoever has been working with Trump to do this. And so that's the other thing that I think a lot of people were not positive about, is he's basically just printing himself billions of dollars of money to basically grift, which is true. I mean, it's what it appears like. We'll find
Yeah.
out in 3 months. That's when the first divestures of the locked up coins are released.
Well, come back to us in 3 months, and I don't really pay attention to meme coins. I like stay out of it for the most part. But yeah, kudos to people who track it, who make money off of it.
Mhm.
It's definitely a high risk, but if you're able to pull it off, then like I envy you. So you're so if you're able to capitalize by this, then Congrats.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I'm not one of those people, by the way.
You sound like you are.
I sound like I
You
would.
know quite a lot about this coin.
It's like one of those things. It's like it's just super fascinating to watch it happen in real time. But
Yeah.
not being an instant millionaire overnight is kind of depressing because I spent so much time looking at this.
And I will say that's probably what led to some big pops in crypto over the week.
I would say
A lot of crypto was,
deflation.
yeah, deflation, but also probably this whole, well, actually, no, you said Trump was Friday.
Trump was Friday. So the other thing is that it basically sucked out the liquidity. Liquidity is the crypto parlance for basically all the money that
Yeah.
is in all the coins across the cryptoverse. It basically sucked out money from all these alternative coins, all these meme coins.
Because people had to sell to buy this coin, basically,
Yeah, yeah,
or swap,
or
you know.
swap to
Yeah.
buy this Trump coin, except for Solana, which is what Trump's meme coin is the chain that Trump's coin is built on. That's the easiest way to
Yeah.
think about it. So you have these different coin platforms. Let's just call them coin platforms.
Let's not
Let's not
get
get
too,
into it. Okay.
we've
Anyways,
talked too much about it.
okay. I get yeah. But Solana, one of my favorite coins, is all-time highs, like new all-time highs.
Yeah. I've been a big proponent for Solana as well. I first bought Solana, I think at like 100, 120, and then it went down. So then I bought more. And I was like, when's it going to come back to 120? And I like blew past it.
Yeah, now it almost yeah, it was like 295 overnight. I was like 295. The previous all-time I was like 260, but
It's crazy. I think it's going to be a good year for crypto, actually. Yeah. And
oh,
well, and again, like we'll see what happens in the first week with Trump
yeah.
as it pertains to crypto. If
So
he, really is launching
yeah.
his meme coin, that's a signal to his bullishness on crypto in general.
Well, I think that's the scary thing, right? Is if it turns out to be the rug pull, as typical, does it destroy crypto? I think is what the
Per-
conversation is
no,
also about.
personally, I don't think it would. Like, just no.
Well, maybe destroy is like the wrong word, but like it will turn a lot of people off on crypto, even more so.
That's a buying opportunity.
Who
All
knows?
right,
All right.
let's move on.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about CES. So we talked last week about kind of the main feature of CES, which was NVIDIA. Jensen did his keynote. We talked about that, but we wanted to react to some of the top tech from CES, mostly going off of this article by CNET. But CNET had official 2025 Best of CES winners, which were awarded by a CNET group of reputable establishments like Mashable, Lifehacker, ZDNet, PCMag, and of course CNET. And they came up with a few things here. So the first was Best AI. We already talked about it. NVIDIA Cosmos AI model. And as a reminder, last week we were talking about this and how it's going to enable much more robust environments to train autonomous driving, to train robots, to train AI. And so I think I don't know, did Jetson say when this was actually coming out?
Which one?
Cosmos, or is it already out?
I think it's already out, right?
Okay. So you can imagine that in the next year or two, FSD, for example, is going to be a lot better,
Yeah.
which is promising because a lot of companies other than Tesla haven't really solved that. I mean, other than Tesla and of course Waymo haven't really solved it. Any additional thoughts on Cosmos? No, we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
All right.
See last week's episode.
Yeah. The next is best transportation mobility. I saw this one. I thought was pretty cool too. Honda showcased their Zero Series vehicle, and this thing looks very futuristic. But they said that it's pretty much like 90% to what the actual car will be like, and they're looking to launch in the next year by 2026.
Yep.
So this is an electric vehicle. with a thin battery that will be able to charge rapidly in as little as 10 to 15 minutes. My first reaction to that was like, well, what's the range? Because, yeah, anything can charge really quickly if it has a low range. The Zero series will be powered by AI chip and the Asimo OS to deliver level 3 self-driving, which is capable of taking full control and operating during select parts of the journey after launch. They didn't give an update into what the pricing is, but if you see the car, which is on the screen right now, pretty futuristic looking. I'd say it's like the cross between a Rivian and a Model Y. I
Hmm.
don't know. I felt like they took a bunch of things from like the best cars and just smashed them together.
Yeah. Yeah, so supposedly launching sometime 2026, at least here in North America. I mean, well, we'll see. Like, this is Honda's not really into electric cars, I think. There was an electric Civic Prologue maybe. Anyways, we'll see. I'll say their first major EV car, I might be wrong, but is interesting. I've heard a lot of pros and cons. Like, it's kind of, again, I say I don't like X, but I'm on X quite a bit. Very tinted view. It's just too many Tesla fanboys there to really get a good sense. But it's, yeah, interesting concept. And we'll just have to see because it is like their first, like, really push into EVs. At least, yeah.
It's very sleek.
Yeah, the design is kind of weird. Kind of
Yeah.
weird. It was like weird just to be like EV-ish, right?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I noticed is a lot of cars now are going to that full bar, like headlight, full bar brake light.
Yeah.
So it's a trend. But when I look at this, I see Cybertruck wheels. I see Tesla for like full glass design. I
Yeah.
see Rivian kind of like roundness.
Yeah.
I see Tesla interior combined with, like Model S type, style.
Yeah.
Got the yoke versus the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So
It's weird. Yeah, which is a shame. Like I remember in my teens, Honda was the car to have, right? The Civic, Infinities. Anyways, not anymore.
all right. Well, the next thing that was awarded best of was the best of laptop. Quite honestly, I don't even know why we talk so much about laptops these days.
I don't
It's,
either.
but the best laptop was Asus ZenBook A14. So it sounds like it has a long lasting battery
This one's
and
boring. I don't even know why this won the best thing. I would say
it's
the most
good.
interesting one was actually the Lenovo ThinkBook Plus. Because the screen is a rollable screen. I think
Yeah.
that's what makes it interesting. So it's a 14-inch laptop, and the screen part of it rolls and extends up like
Like
a
TVs. You get
yeah
TVs, right?
like a few inches. So it actually expands and rolls up to make the screen like an
Yeah.
additional 4 inches. I wasn't quite sure, but I thought that was interesting.
I
Like this
agree.
spec increase, I don't even know why this did, but I mean, yeah, it's cool, but here for tech.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The rollable laptop, it's, those TVs that come up and down. That's, I think, the technology, right? Where they go into the ports and
Yeah,
sounds like it's bendable glass, which is also another trend, like a lot of foldable phones coming out these days.
yeah,
And it gives you that portrait style, like
yeah,
vertical screen that
yeah,
people tend to like.
yeah,
Next, I'm just waiting for a laptop that you can just roll up into like a tube and put it in your backpack.
yeah.
Sounds like that's what's coming soon.
The future. Yes, I've seen it in enough movies. It's like, when is this actually gonna happen?
The best TV or home theater was the LG OLED TV.
CNET. Okay, when you said CNET, I was like, is CNET still around? And okay, now I know why I thought it, because like this is
Yeah.
a terrible top 10 list.
Yeah, because wasn't there a better TV
Yes,
equipment?
not even that. It's like, okay, so the most interesting tech, LG announced again. I mean, they've announced this previously, but it's like their transparent screen.
Yeah,
So I don't know why it's not here, but anyway, so LG is like the transparent screen, and to me, this is like pretty cool. I'm wondering when Apple will introduce like a transparent iPhone. So basically, it is a TV. It's completely transparent. It has two modes. One is I can't describe it. It's like if you're watching something on your window is basically the way I would describe it. And it has this other function where it turns to more traditional TV where it blacks out, or you can black out the back of it so it looks solid. But anyways, the gist is a transparent screen. They've perfected it more. And so yeah, maybe we'll see
Yeah, that
the
was
first
amazing.
commercially available ones.
I mean, can you imagine having this as your windows? You can imagine having this like as your TV.
Yeah,
There's a lot of use cases for transparent technology like
yeah,
this. So I agree, it's much better than L. What is this? LG's OLED TV.
yeah. Let's just talk about LO, TVs,
Sure.
whatever. It makes me
Yeah.
think of like for sci-fi nerds, The Expanse. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest you watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called The Expanse, and basically they have phones. It's basically transparent communication phones, which again, movies are kind of forward thinking.
Yeah,
That's where I see where this technology is eventually going. Is we'll have phones that are transparent.
totally.
Yeah,
All right, this next one's actually a little bit better.
this is
The best smart home or home tech is Roborock's Saros 7 Z70.
yeah,
So apparently this is a robot that kind of looks like a Roomba,
yep.
and it can pick things up off the ground, and
It actually has an arm.
it actually
The
has an arm that
pickup. It
comes
actually
down.
has an arm that can pick up things. Apparently,
Yeah. And if you're to wake up and it's like arms like trying to probe you.
yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those things where I'm like, is it really solving a problem in the best way?
Do you have a Roomba?
I did. I've had like several Roombas, but they
Yeah.
either all break or they're just not very good because I have so much stuff on the floor.
Well, that's how I always felt about the Roomba in general. It's like, is it really solving anything?
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to actually prepare for it. That's the problem
Yeah.
that it's not solving. And I'm not sure having an arm on the robot is actually going to solve it either. Um, but anyways, yeah, it's okay. I guess it's an interesting take to try and do something different with robo vacuums.
But also, once robots come out, like robots are going to make this type of thing obsolete. Although robots are going to probably be 5 times the cost
Yeah, according to Elon, in the next 2 years, we'll
in
start
the
to see
next
the
years.
first versions of, all right, whatever.
It won't be for consumer purchase though.
Unless you have
Yeah,
$20,000 to shell out, I guess, for something that'll
exactly.
run for like 15 minutes.
Well, I think a test robot will be more like $200,000.
Yeah,
Next one's pretty cool. So Flint paper battery. So this was a battery made out of paper. Singaporean startup Flint claims it has created a sustainable, affordable, and scalable solution to traditional lithium-ion batteries. They're fully flexible and can be shrunken down to the size of a coin and embedded in smartwatch straps. So they raised 2 million in seed funding to run a pilot, which is not a lot. 2 million is not a lot for this
no,
type of technology.
yeah.
But if they're able to deliver, then you can imagine batteries to get much thinner. Your watch will get thinner, your phone will get thinner, etc., etc.
This is what, yeah, this is one of the things that I think is what's missing is we need new battery tech because I think the current lithium batteries that we use today is probably what's holding back innovation at this point, as far as like compactness, power to weight ratio, right? It's just not, everybody's trying to solve it. Obviously, Tesla's probably trying to solve it. So, I know, throwing a couple of hundred into a couple of companies that are trying to solve it. If you haven't, not financial advice, QuantumScape, Microvast. Anybody's interested in looking at that. But anyways,
All right, well, let's go off rail now. And because the rest are kind of,
yeah,
boring.
yeah,
But you want to mention one, and I'll mention one as well.
yeah. Yeah, so this one just caught my eye because I think it's caught everybody else because either it was it was the coolest thing or the most ridiculous thing. Xpeng? I always called it Xpeng until I think people called it
Fun.
Xpeng. Oh, yeah, but say XPeng, one of the large EV makers in China. So basically, they introduced their land aircraft carrier, which to me, I thought it was basically a Cybertruck knockoff turned into a military van. But in the back, it carries around this personal helicopter. So it's like a Cybertruck
It's
van.
called like the mothership, right?
Yeah, it's basically like a Cybertruck, and the back is hauling around like this personal helicopter that kind of like decouples. It's almost like you see like Legos, right? So this truck the helicopter kind of like you drop it off and then unload and unpack the helicopter and just fly off. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, what is the need for this? Anyways, maybe you could show up like a screenshot of what it looked at, but
Oh
anyways,
yeah, all these things will be
yeah,
on the B-roll.
yeah. Don't know how practical it is, but CES is not always about practicality. Anyways, yeah, flying car.
Cool. Mine was this car, the solar powered EV that kind of looks like a plane. It's called the Aptera. But basically, if you're in a sunny environment like Arizona, for example, then you can charge up to 40 miles as you're driving. So I think that is the future, right? Especially to solve a lot of this range anxiety issue. Solar powered cars that can also charge themselves, as well as charging at your home or at a supercharger, because that's just what's going to extend the range. And then,
Yeah.
so this Aptera looks like a trike. It's 3-wheeled, front wheel drive. Looks like an experimental aircraft to me, but the interior is pretty cool, and it has those up doors similar to the Robotaxi that come up like this.
Oh, yeah.
2-person, cool little thing. So it's pretty sleek. I'm looking at their website right now, and yeah, I mean, as you may or may not know, I'm a pilot. Like, I went to school to become a pilot, and this very much looks like the cockpit of an airplane. So it feels familiar. It's probably why I like it. So, yeah, that was kind of my bigger takeaway, or one of my takeaways from CES.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Flying
Yeah.
automobiles.
Flying
It's like,
automobiles, EVs. I
yeah,
mean, CES is always fun here to
yeah.
see those
It's like,
things.
how does flying even work? It's like, can you imagine thousands of people flying around above neighborhoods and such? There's no way it would happen.
We can't even handle drones.
Can't even handle our cars on the road, and
Yeah.
so it's yeah. Again, it's solving a problem that I don't think it's. Anyways, but yeah, it's a lot of interesting things as always.
All right. Well, that was a good episode. By the time you watch this video, we will have a new president in office, and many juicy things may have already happened. So good luck to all. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.